Hi everybody, welcome to this next video. So in this one we're looking at density, mass, volume. We're going to look first of all at a more simplistic problem here where we've got a shape and we're being asked to find the mass. And then underneath we've got another question here that we're going to look at, which is quite a common one that students struggle to understand, get their head round. I'm going to show you a bit of a shortcut and a quick trick as to what you can do to organise the information. So let's jump straight in looking at this one. Shouldn't be too long a video. First of all, density, mass, volume. Let's make sure that if you know this formula triangle, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Okay, so DMV, multiply at the bottom, divide here, and divide here. So a bit like your speed, distance, time, density, mass, volume is the same, and pressure, force, area, all will really help you if you understand and remember the formula triangle like that. Okay, so let's jump at this question and have a look at it. So the density of a block of wood is 0.6 grams per centimetre cubed. So if I look at this formula triangle, and I know that density goes in the bottom left, I've got 0.6. Okay, mass goes at the top. Well, the mass is actually what I'm trying to find. And it's a cuboid with dimensions 80 centimetres, 5 centimetres and 3 centimetres. So this would be the volume down here. So in some questions it will actually just give you the volume and ask you to then just find the mass straight away. And in some questions like this, it's actually saying to you, well, you need to find the volume first of all. Now, hopefully you understand, in order to find the volume of a shape, what you have to do is the area of one face and then times it by the depth or the height, depending on which face you find. So if I look at this question here, I'm going to do the area of the front face here. So that front face is a rectangle. So I'm going to do 3 times 5, which is 15. So that's the area of the front. And then I'm saying I've got to basically do 15 times by 80 to get the volume. Okay, so in this case, that gives me 1,200 centimetres cubed. So I can now go back to this formula triangle and change that for 1,200 centimetres cubed. And I know that the density was in grams per centimetre cubed. Now the reason I've written those units there is because what you want to make sure is that this unit and this unit match up. Okay. It might also ask you to give your answer for mass in a certain format. So it could say give your answer in kilograms, in which case I'd need to be careful because my answer is going to end up being in grams. So just make sure that whatever you've got there and whatever you've got there do match up. Okay, so if my units were given in meters, I'd convert them to centimeters because my density is in centimeters. So from here, what I'm now being asked to find is the mass. So in order to find mass, if I cover up mass on my formula triangle, I do density times volume. So the density, so mass is equal to density times volume. In this case, the density is 0.6 times by 1200. So you're basically just looking at trying to find 60% of 1200. And if I do that, I end up with 720 grams. Okay, so that would be my answer for this. The mass of the block of wood is 720 grams. Okay, so if you're not given the volume, make sure you find it by using those dimensions. Be careful depending on what shape it is. Could be a cylinder, for example. And if you're given the shape of a cylinder, you need to make sure you understand how to find the volume of a cylinder. If you're not 100% sure, go back to one of the videos I've done, which is about volume of shapes. Okay, right, let's look at this one, which would come up towards the end of a foundation paper and would be on the higher paper as well. So it's worth looking at this and understanding what we can do. So 200 centimetres cubed of liquid A is mixed with some of liquid B to make liquid C. So I've basically got two different solutions being mixed together to make liquid C. Liquid A has a density, so I've been given density for liquid A. Liquid B has a density of 1.2, and I've been given the mass for liquid B as well. So here's how I approach these questions. What you do is you draw yourself a quick table. Doesn't have to be perfect. Draw yourself a quick table. And what you're basically going to do, so it's a two-way table. You're going to put density, mass, volume. You're going to write liquid A. You're going to write liquid B. And you're going to write liquid C. This is just basically for you to be able to organise all the information that you've got. So let's fill in what we know. Okay, 200 centimetres cubed of liquid A. So that is my volume. So 200 goes there. I can tick that off because I've dealt with that. Some of liquid B, don't know how much liquid B is being used. So effectively, I've got a gap here to make liquid C. So they've got a gap there as well. Liquid A has a density of 0.8. So density of 0.8 goes there. Liquid B has a density of 1.2. 1.2 goes there. And a mass of 80. So I'm being given the mass of 80 for B. The question is asking me ultimately to find the density of C. Okay. Now, what I've seen quite common is that pupils will just add that up and divide it by 2. But that doesn't work because you're not actually applying both those ratios equally. So what you have to do here is you have to think to yourself, what information can I find? So looking at this table, I can find this and I can find this. And the reason I can find that is because if I go back to my formula triangle, to find mass, I do density times volume. And to find volume, I do mass divided by density. So mass divided by density. So they're two sums I can actually now work out. So let's start by working out the mass of liquid A. So this box in the middle here. So to find mass, I do density times volume. And the density is 0.8. And the volume is 200 centimeters cubed. So I'm basically saying to you 80% of 200, which is 160. So my mass here is 160, and this is in grams. Okay, so that's the first thing I've been able to find. Let's find the next thing, which was this box here. And now I'm being asked to find volume. We'll cover up volume. In order to find volume, do mass divided by density. Okay, so it's mass divided by density. And the mass here is 80. And the density is 1.2. So you're doing 80 divided by 1.2. So 80 divided by 1.2 and gives you 66.6. Okay, so that is my volume of liquid B. From here, what you basically need to then work out is the next two parts, which are these two parts down here. Because I've got these two parts being added together, I can just add the volumes together to get 266.6. So that's 266.6 centimeters cubed, and therefore I know that the mass ends up being 240 grams. Okay, so because it's that much of liquid A, that much of liquid B are being put together, I can therefore work out what's been combined in total. And then finally, your last step to find that orange bit, well, I'm being asked to find density, and to find density, you do mass divided by volume, and the mass here, so density is equal to mass divided by volume, and the mass in this case at the bottom for liquid C is 240, and the volume is 266.6. So you're doing 240 divided by 266.6, and you get an answer of 0.9. So my density of liquid C would be 0.9 grams per centimetre cubed. So that's how you can organise all the information by using a table. Makes it a little bit easier for yourself rather than trying to keep everything in your head. Okay, hope you found that useful. I know it was a bit of a short one, but at least it gives you a bit of an idea on how to answer these more wordy problems here. Just double check all your units match up when you're doing it, and that should help you solve those problems when it comes to your GCSE exams. Hope you found that useful, and I'll see you all in the next video.